Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog once more here on Mog's Cast, playing some more Kerbal Space Program. We are delving into episode number 4. We're going to be visiting the Mun today. Now, this one, we've actually done a mission to the Mun to do that Explore the Mun quest that we got the contract. Unfortunately, we have another contract now at this point to plant a flag on the Mun. Even though we have already done so, it's for a different contract, and this one's specific to planting a flag on the Mun. So we're going out again, and oh gosh, those almost hit. Those rockets, that first stage ejecting almost smashed into my rocket. I have to take it easy with this rocket design, or I need to figure out some Sepratron proper placement on these to make the ejection a bit smoother of these rocket bits. Now, I am doing this in fast forward. You can tell post-commentary and all that obviously makes a lot of sense for this. These missions get so long sometimes, and I know that in the past I've done live commentary on them. It's so tedious. It really can be quite tedious. As you can see, we're actually pushing out our apoaps there. We're getting up toward the start of our orbit. We're at about 90 kilometers, and we're going to cut back our throttle a bit and keep burning up there as we level out. We're already up to about the 60 kilometer area. We're pushing out pretty far. Getting up to about 130 thus far. We're going to start setting up our node to get all equalized. That was the word I went for initially. That's not right. Gets our orbit all set in stone there, and starts targeting the Mun and get ready to actually burn out toward the Mun. Now, you can see the position of the Mun is kind of hidden from our view right now through the planet. That's fine, because what we're going to be doing is once we actually get our orbit established, we're going to wait for the Mun to come right into view, just barely, or as you can see here, we're sitting up the node where approximately the Mun should be coming into view. Basically what the idea is because of the distance to the Mun, about the time that the Mun comes into view on the horizon like this is about the time that you want to start preparing your burn. Or depending on your ship, maybe a little early, maybe a little later, depending on how much fuel, how much thrust to weight ratio you have for doing that. But you can see here we're pushing on out, and we got our encounter. And we're taking the long trip out to the Mun. Actually, it's one of the most relatively short trips you can take in this game. When we start going out to other planets, I think you'll be thankful that I'm doing these post-commentary type episodes for this. They get so long. That's like a couple hours of just playtime. This in itself was almost an hour worth of playtime, and as you can see, I've cut it down a lot by speeding up things, chopping out weird transitions, boring stuff, and just nonsense like that. So here we are, we're coming on in toward the Mun. We're going to get our encounter all prepared here. And we're going to be coming in on the correct orientation to get our orbit aligned with the rotation of the Mun. So what that means is when we take off from the surface of the Mun, we basically take off in the direction that the Mun is spinning to use that extra force from the speed from the planet itself to add to our orbital velocity that we don't have to basically counteract by going the other way to get up to orbital velocity once we get up there high enough. So the station's going to be spinning the same direction the moon's spinning. The Mun is spinning. We're bringing down our periaps here. We're going to be coming in and getting ready to actually tighten up our orbit with our last little bit of fuel in this launch stage we still have. Just a hair. It's kind of a little tricky to maneuver this thing still, but it might as well use the fuel. It's got a little bit left. We'll be popping it off here after our next burn, I'm sure. There it goes. We used up the last of it, and now we're on to our the little bit of fuel we have in our station transfer stage. Now, the idea with this transfer stage is because I knew we were going to have... I guess it's not really a transfer stage, is it? I knew we were going to have enough fuel, and I knew we'd probably have to use a little bit of what was being transferred up with the station. I wanted to put an engine on the station in case we ever had to move it, and that's actually going to be basically mostly a storage tank for fuel. As you can see, it's already set up with docking nodes on it, so you can dock directly to that stage. But it can be separated if it just gets empty or we end up wanting to reconfigure a bit. But that's the idea behind that configuration. And the reason why we have that. Now we're setting up, you see here we're doing a 2-node setup for a gentler approach down to the surface. One that'll bring us a little closer than we are currently, and then a final one that'll actually put us down onto the surface. And then of course our actual landing maneuvers to bring our velocity down to 0 and get that all properly set up. So as you can see, first burn is done. We're now going to be setting up to go for our second node. That's going to bring us even tighter and put us on a collision course with the surface. and fly by here on the surface, getting ready to come down. We're going to be taking some rock samples when we get down to the surface as well, just so this isn't just a contract mission, so we actually get a good amount of science from this as well if we can. It'll be nice once we get our rovers all set up, because we'll be able to actually get down here on the surface, leave rovers in place, if we do them properly, and be able to use those to get around the biomes on the Mun itself, take a lot more samples than we may have been able to previously, or at least may have been efficiently able to do with just a pure rocket. Now, that is something you can definitely do with just a rocket, grabbing a multiple landing sites, rock samples, on places like Minmus, for example, where the gravity is so incredibly low that it's really easy. Now, you may notice I don't have landing legs on this. I kind of forgot them, and was a little unsure of how much fuel I was actually going to be using, but this is sped up, so it looks a little faster than it was. That was actually a pretty gentle landing. I landed right there on the wings. I figured, whatever, we can just make it do. We could save that stage for getting back up into orbit and getting ourselves home. So we took our sample. We're going to go ahead and plant our flag. Yep, planted on repeat mission to plant a flag. As you can tell, I was a little annoyed that as soon as I got back from exploring the Mun contract, I get a quest or a contract to go plant another flag on the Mun. I thought about it a bit more, and I've done a few more things in downtime between these missions I've recorded, like just little money-making contracts, things like that, I guess it sort of makes sense. Different companies are providing these contracts. Some want different results. Some want their own flag to be put up there or whatever. I mean, whatever, however you want to justify it. We're setting up our encounter here with the station. We're heading back up to the station to get some, to refuel, drop off any stuff that we don't need to refuel the station with excess fuel that we have in this ship, as well as possibly processing some data. We'll see. I don't entirely remember what we did up here on the station, though I do believe we did take some scientific readings, did a few things like that. So as you can see, we're also taking some EVA reports, and just kind of, taking a look at what we've already collected. Just gauging what we need. Getting our nodes set up here. We're getting pretty darn close, and as you can see, we're zipping in. That's the station there in the background, about 3 kilometers off now, coming in pretty quick, and we're going to go ahead and equalize our velocities. And about 2 kilometers out, and that's about even. Now we're going to be bringing ourselves in for docking maneuvers. Now flip it around. We're less than a half a kilometer away. Evening that out, trying to bring that descending node closer to wherever we want to end up at. Here we go. Getting nice and close. We're probably going to be switching over to translation mode here pretty quick. There it is. Using our RCS rockets. Do you want to call those rockets? I guess you might call them ports? RCS ports? Yeah, okay, that sounds right. RCS ports, using those to do a little more even maneuvering, a little more stable maneuvering to get docked here. Now, you may notice the station is just rotating. I didn't realize this at first. In the first couple of attempts I had to get close, I were like, what happened? Did I bump this? What is going on? Did I push it with my thrusters? Thrusters, that's what I'm trying to say. RCS thrusters, that was the word I was looking for. Now, what actually happened is the station ran out of electricity, it being the dark side of the Mun right here. And I think I forgot to expand what am I trying to say? The solar panels on the station itself. It's got a couple of passive ones there, but not really enough. So I think we just pushed those other ones out. Yeah, there we go. We're trying those ones that are down in there in the kind of the crutch section to refuel a bit, as far as it were, for the electricity in the batteries. And that's the reason that the station was actually spinning. The SAS module on it did not have enough electricity to actually stabilize it and keep it in position. So as soon as that went out, it may have been trying to reorient itself from some other thing. And it looks like we are sending back some science data that I wanted to do to complete some contracts, and then we're actually be taking a lot of data back as well for the additional science on top of it for actually returning with the samples. So we're transferring over the last of the monopropellant, filling up what we can here on the station from the small rocket. We didn't actually need much of the RCS units. It was kind of just a docking procedure thing, and we're not docking anymore. We're heading back home. Now this should net us a good amount of science, and we should be able to unlock a few more part packs, as it were. I keep saying that. But we're heading on home. As you can see, we recharged a little bit, and we're burning out that last node that we have set up, getting our periaps back to where we want it to be. Now, I believe what we're going to be doing here at this point is not doing a full landing. We're going to be coming in to skim in the air, in the atmosphere of Kerbin, to slow ourselves down and then go for a second round. We're basically going to hit it, air brake around it, get shot back out, and then it'll basically have brought our apoaps in close enough because of the air braking that it should slow us down. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I do come in for a full landing here. Actually, I think I do. Yeah, I'm coming in real fast. Yep, we're definitely coming in for a landing here. My mistake. I've been flying a few other things since, I guess, and I got a little confused. I guess I should have remembered after having just edited most of this stuff together. Oh well. Air braking's going well. Getting all slowed down and getting prepared to dock, or to, what am I saying, not dock, to land here. We're going to be shooting off our parachutes here rather quickly. We're through the atmosphere. The last of the re-entry effects are wearing off of our ship. And everything should be cooling down. We're about 10 kilometers up and dropping fast. We've just used our parachutes, and we're using our rockets a little bit to slow ourselves to cut off a little bit of additional speed there before those get deployed. We're still about 2 kilometers up above the ocean, so be prepared. When this gets close, it's going to be a splash, just so you know. Firing the rockets here, and the splash will be here momentarily. If you're watching the altimeter, you'll see exactly when. And plop! Recovered the vessel. Looks like we've got 125 science from that. I don't know if that's entirely... Maybe I missed that. We got a lot of our stuff back. We didn't gain much reputation for whatever reason, and this is one of the new features from the update that I hadn't seen before, and I was just checking it out going, what is this? They're little, basically, like, the word I want to use is, like, ordinances? That may be incorrect. Strategies, that's the word they use, and you can set them for, like, oh, if you want to take an additional... maybe a little less reputation, you can hire unpaid interns to glean additional science for your missions and stuff like that. We've unlocked a few new packs here that'll give us some more parts. And it looks like, yeah, we've done quite a few things. We're almost complete with this lineup. So that'll be nice. I think we're going to get the advanced flight, I believe is the one we're going to go for. I kind of was thinking the ion propulsion or possibly the drone bits. Or more science is always good. But it looks like we're going to go with supersonic flight. That's the one. We're going to spend there. And that's going to go ahead and conclude our mission here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like what you saw, please do hit that like button. And we will see you guys next time. Until then, cheers!